Hi, this is R.Swathiramya, Assistant Professor, AIDS Department, Hindustan Institute of Technology. In this video, we are going to discuss about what is Java and how to write a simple Java programming using a class and object. In the previous video, we were discussing about the history of Java, how Java has been developed, who developed the Java, and what all the features of the Java, how the Java is different from the other languages, why Java is more secured. All those things we were been discussing in the previous video. If you have a doubts, you can go and check the video link. Okay, let me come to this video right now. Just imagine that we are going to create a system software for either school or some colleges. So in a school or colleges, basic entity will be the students. We have a student, so we can take a student as our example for our programming. Okay, so first we need to decide what all the information every student has to possess, what all the information we have to put inside the every student. Okay, for example, every student will have the details of the name of the students, register number, department, mark, and year of study. A student, this is the property, basic property or basic details of the student. This must be there in our software, right? And other thing, what all the behavior of the student. Next thing we have to consider the behavior of the student. So student also performs some actions like attending the class, attending the event, organizing the event, writing the exam, submitting the assignment, submitting the projects. So those all things will come under the behavior of the students. First, the basic details or the profile details of the students will be taken as a data or property of the students. Then next, behavior of the students will come under the action of the students. So we before getting into the development of the software, we have to create the basic design that contains the basic data of the students, what all the data we have to enter for each student, and what all the actions or activity done by the student, that is property and action of the students, what all the basic details we need to put. So we need to create the design for that design which contains the properties, that is basic details of each student should possess inside, and what all the actions the student may do. These things will come under, these things will be put into the design. The design is called as a class. That is what we called as a class. Class is nothing but it is a design or blueprint of these data. Okay, so next, what is object? So now we designed the things which has what all the basic properties should each student should possess, and what all the actions the student may do. Okay, now I told you that class is a design. Very simple, class is a design. Now we need an actual student. Suppose we have a list of student name, right? Ravi, Ram, Priya, Arun. They are the actual students which is created using the student class. These actual entities are called object. Class is nothing but it is just a design or blueprint of the property and also the actions that that the real-time entity going to do. Okay, object is nothing but object is a real-time entity. That is, object is the actual student. For example, Ravi is a object. Ravi is a student in the college, so Ravi will be one of the object. Ram is a student in the college, Ram will be one of the object. So we create the object for every student. Class is a design, object is an actual entity. Already I have been discussing what is class, what is object, what is polymorphism, all those things. But in this video, before getting into the actual programming structure, let me give a short explanation of each OOPS concepts. That's why I'm telling what is class and what is object. So next come abstraction. Now imagine that the student is using the college exam system. Okay, he is going to write the exam. Okay, the student only needs to see the things like login. For example, he is going to take some online examination using the college system. So what all the things we can show to the student is, we can show the login detail. Simply we can show the login page so that he can logged into his account, and he can take the exam and he can submit the exam, right? These are all the things only we can show to the students, right? And back end we have a more number of details, right? It is under progress. The student does not need to know what is happening internally and what all the things will be get stored in the databases, what all the actions happened in the back end, how the marks has been calculated. All those things, all those details is need not to be known to the students. Okay, this kind of thing is called abstraction, showing only the necessary information and hiding the internal implementation is called abstraction. So it will show you only the details which is need to be shown to the particular person, and it will hide all other data internally. This is called abstraction. I mean, this kind of things can be achieved with the help of the property called abstraction. Okay, so next is encapsulation. And now imagine that the student's mark, we should not student marks will be displayed in the web portal. Okay, we should not allow every students to directly change the mark. That is, we are not giving edit option for the student in the mark page, right? Correctly, only his profile details can be changed, name, those things can be, only editable details can be editable. The marks cannot be edited by the students. So these marks should be in a protective mode, and only authorized person can able to update these marks. That is which means only authorized member or authorized method can access the marks and edit the marks. Keeping the data and the method together and protecting the data is called encapsulation. So it will protect the data which is need to be protected, and it will show the data which is to be shown in public. This concept is called encapsulation. So next comes inheritance. Now suppose our college software has a general class called a person. Imagine that our college software has a general class called a person. Person can have a common information like name, age, address. Suppose the student and teacher is also a person, right? Instead of writing the same property again for the student and the teacher, we can reuse the properties from the person. For example, when you are creating the profile, the basic details will be there in the person. For example, name, age, address, blood group, the common detail for both the students and the faculty, and also who are all there inside the college. Everyone has to enter their basic details. These basic details can be inherited to the different classes. So when one class acquires the properties and the behavior of another class, it is called inheritance. We can keep all these data in a common class, and we can inherit this class to student class, also faculty class, also the management class. All those class, wherever we need those properties and behavior, we can inherit and we can use in the different class. By this way, we can reuse the existing feature. This concept is called inheritance. Then comes to the concept called polymorphism. So finally, let's see, we have a method called display the details. Okay, if the object is a student, it will display the student details. If the object is a teacher or a professor or some administrative work people, it displays the details of that person. So same method can behave differently depending on the objects. So the method is same, is to display the work of the method is to display the details, but for the students it will display the different details. For the faculty it will display the different details. For administrative officers it will display different details. This ability to have the different forms is called polymorphism. One concept, many form. This is called polymorphism. Okay. So if you look at our college example, we first create the class and we create the object from it, and we use the abstraction to hide unnecessary details and encapsulate to protect our private data, and inheritance to reuse the common features, and polymorphism to behave differently at different situations. So these are the basic building blocks of object-oriented programming in Java. So now let's get into the program structure so I can explain you in a better way. Okay, let's see. Starting with the next slide, that the class and object. As I told you, class is a blueprint or a template for creating an object. It will define you the property, that is data of the student. In our example, data of the student, and the behavior of the student, that is method that object will have in the real time. For it's a building plan is a class, and it describes how the building should be constructed. Okay, this is what the basic definition of the class. And when it comes to the object is an instance of a class. It represents the real world entity which owns the character and which owns the behavior which we described in the class. Okay, actual building constructed from the plan we made with the help of the class, that is object. Okay, nothing but if you're going to construct the house, the basic design plan will be the class, and the actual house will be the object. This is the basics of class and object. So we will see the syntax of creating the class and example for that. Okay, when you want to create the class, first of all, let me clearly tell you, for when you create the class, you will have two parts inside the class. One is a data, as I told you, the details in our example, details of the students, and another one is behavior of the students. Data in the sense, it is a data member, that is variable declaration, and the function declaration. So let's get into the syntax of the class. Okay, you can see the syntax of the class here. Declaration, okay, it is very clear from, you can see the left side how the class has been declared. Class is a keyword. You can see the class starting from the class name. So class is a keyword. Class name you can give as you wish, and open bracket, you have two part in the class declaration. First part data member, second part member function. Data member will be the your variable names, name of the variable, and variable declaration part, and function declaration will be the member function. From the right side you can see the actual example. I have created the class for the car. So class name will be the name of the car. Java will be the case sensitive one. So see, the first letter of the class name car is a capital letter. So wherever you have to use capital, you have to use capital letter in that places. And here it is case sensitive, as I told you, Java language is a case sensitive one. So you have to give the name accordingly. Okay, so the name of the class will be the car. When you enter into the class, you have the data member declaration. I have given two datas here. One is a brand, another one is a speed. Brand is nothing but a brand of the car. It will be in the string. So I have declared in the data type using the string. Data type on the string, and also the name of the data type will, name of the data is a brand, and another one property is speed. Speed will be there in an integer value, as a integer value. So I have declared in the data type int speed. So given the semicolon, closed with a semicolon. I hope you know already C and C++, so you will know the basic structure, where here also you have to use the semicolon at the end of each line in Java also. So next declaration will be the function declaration. For declaring the function, you have basic declaration for function was return type, function name, open bracket, close bracket, then open flower bracket, and you can give whatever code you want, then close the flower bracket. So as I told, the syntax for declaring the function, here you can see the void. The return type will, we are not returning anything, so I've given the return type as a void, and the name of the function will be display. Then getting into the function, I've declared only to display the brand of the car. So when you use this, when you go in a C, you will use println, you will use printf scanf, right, for getting input and displaying the output. For displaying the output, here we can use system.out.println. Okay, this println function will help you to display whatever thing you want, like printf there in C. Okay, here you can use println function. I will explain what is system, what is out, and println in forthcoming slides. Okay, now this function is used to display the brand here. So I've displayed the brand system.out.println, and I've given the brand directly here. So whatever the brand name, it will be displayed using this function. I have closed the function and also I've closed the class. This is the simple class declaration. As I have not explained the how variable has to be declared and function has to be declared, in next slide I have given the syntax for variable declaration. Okay, so variable is nothing but data will be taken as a variable. Okay, variable or data declaration will be data type variable name, data type variable name. If you want to give assign value for that particular variable name, you can also give directly during the declaration, or in the forthcoming programs also, lines also you can give, there also you can give. So I have given two syntax for variable declaration. One is data type variable name. If you want to give assign the value in this stage itself, you can give data type variable name is equal to value. You can see left side, you can right side, you can find the example for that. Okay, my data type is integer. If it is integer value, I have given the data type as int speed. If my variable name have the string value, then I can declare using the data type string brand, string color. If suppose my variable name value will be in a floating point, in a decimal values, so I can give you in the floating point data type. So float salary. So if you want to assign the value also, you can directly assign int age is equal to 25, float salary is equal to 15,000.50. Whenever you are using the floating point value, you have to give the F. You can use for the string, you can assign the value with the help of double quotation. If it is a character, only you want a single character, you can use the data type character name of the variable is equal to, in the single quote you can give whatever the letter you want. Okay, if you are giving in the double quote, it will be in the string. If you are giving in the single quote, it is taken as a character. And boolean status is equal to true. These are all the basic variable types we can use in the Java. So you know how the data type, how the variable has been declared, how we can assign the values for the variables, or this has been taken as a data. So next comes function declaration. So whenever you want to declare the function in the Java, this is the basic syntax for declaring the function. So first thing will be the access specifier. In C, you will not have the access specifier. In C, you will have the return type, function name, open bracket. If you have a parameter, you can give the parameter. If you don't have any parameter, you will not give any parameter there. Okay, parameter list, or the parameter list will be empty, then open bracket, close bracket. This will be the basic syntax there in C. Here you have to give extra thing is, you can give even if you are not giving, that is fine, but you have to, if you are not giving, it will taken as a public one. If you want to keep your method as a protected or private one, you have to give it in a protected and private one. So first thing will be access specifier. We have three types of access specifier here: public, private, protected. These things will be discussed later. Public means anyone can access that method. Private means only few people, few authorized persons can access the function. Okay, these things will be discussed in the later class. Now you know what is access specifier. Okay, access specifier, it will tell you who all can access that function. So for that, you are giving one access specifier. We can give three access specifier: public, private, and protected. Next thing will be return type. As you know, the return type, once the function executed completely, and it may or it may not return some values. If it returns some values, if it returns the integer value, you can put the return type integer. If it returns the floating point value, you can put the return type floating point value. Depends on the data it is going to return, you can give this return type. If it is not going, the function is not going to return anything else, you can give simply the void, that is, it's not going to return anything else. Okay, access specifier, return type, and the name of the method or a name of the function. then open bracket. In that open bracket, you can give the list of parameters that you want to pass into the function. If you don't have any parameters, you can give as empty. You do not want to specify anything else. You can give simply leave it as a empty bracket. Then open parenthesis and the close parenthesis. Inside this, you can add the codings whatever you want inside the function. So in the right side, you can find the example. Now my access specifier will be public and the return type will be void, which is public in the sense access specifier is public, so which means anyone can access my function. I'm giving the permission like that. Okay, public. Void, it is not going to return anything, so it is void, and my name of the method or name of the function will be display. I don't have any parameter list, so the bracket, within the bracket it is empty. I'm opening the flower bracket and I'm displaying just a hello. For displaying anything in the if you want to display anything, as I told you before, system.out.println has been used. This function is used to display anything. So system.out.println, yes, system, in system, S will be the capital one. For O, it will be small one. I told you it is a case sensitive one. So you have to be very careful for the keywords as well as the naming. We have certain rules and regulations. Accordingly, we have to use this small letter and capital letter. For this function, system will be in the capital letter. Out print for out O will be small letter, println P will be small letter. So these all things we have to keep into the account. Okay. So println function, inside the println function, if you put anything inside the double quote, it will display the display as a string. So I have given the hello. So whenever you call this function, the hello statement will be displayed. Okay. In the example 2, you see access specifier will be the public, but I am going to have a return type as an integer. The integer data is going to be given back by this function. So I have given the return type as int. Then my function name will be add, and I have passed two parameters here, int a comma int b. So I'm going to perform addition between these two parameters. That is the goal of this function. So getting into the function, what I'm going to return a plus b. So after execution of this function, I will get the value of addition of these two, a and b, I will get. Okay. So this have the basic structure of the class. Inside the class, we have a data members and member function. What is data, how to declare a data member and how to declare the member function, everything have been cleared. This is a very basic class declaration. So as I told you before, I will explain what is system.out.println. Println function is used to display the whatever thing you put inside the println function, it will display you the things. If you want the string to be displayed, you can put in the double quote, or if you want to display some value, you can put the variable name inside it. It will display the value of that particular variable. So let me get into the what actually the function means. Okay, we can see that system.out.println. System, in the system is nothing but it's a predefined class in a Java. System is a predefined. We have a Java. In a Java, we have a set of predefined classes, predefined objects. We have predefined functions inside the package. Okay, we can use this predefined classes. There you'll have the input output statement, right? Hash include std studio.input output. So similarly, in Java also we have some predefined classes. Inside the predefined classes, we have predefined functions and variables. We can use that predefined functions whenever we want inside our program. Okay, system is nothing but first statement, system is nothing but it's a predefined class in a Java. Out is a static object of the print stream class. Okay, I told you system is one of the predefined class. Similar to the system, we have one another class named print stream class. This print stream classes all used have the functions for input and output operation. So print stream class that will used as to display the output. So this is the object of the print stream class. System is a class and out is a object of the predefined class called print stream class. Okay, this print stream class is specially designed for console input output things. Okay, so println will be the method or the function that prints the given data and moves the cursor to the very next line. So that is why you can see the example now, system.out.println. If you want to display something, you can put inside the double quote. If you want to display the value of particular variable, you can give like this, system.out.println. You can, in the double quote, I have given the brand and the value of the brand should be displayed. So I have added the plus symbol here, that is concatenation operator here. I will tell you what is the use. The concatenation operator will be used to combine the two string as well as the value. For the purpose of plus is the concatenation. So the plus brand, which will display the brand and the value of the brand here. Okay, the concatenation operation, this will joins the text as well as the variable value. This is how the system.out.println works, and this is what the things behind the system.println function. Okay, so now you know how to create the class. Okay, once the class has been created, the basic design of particular object has been done completely. Okay, when we want to create the particular object, that is, we create a design but we want to manufacture that object, right? So we know where once you create the class, it will not allocate any memory. Okay, so once you create the object for that particular class, the manufactured products will be done. So only when you create the object, the memory allocation will be given to that particular variables and functions. So the next step will be the object creation. So the syntax for creating the object is class name, object name is equal to new class name. This is the constructor. Okay, new class name, open bracket, close bracket. You can see the syntax in the display screen. Class name, object name is equal to new class name, which is constructor, new class name, bracket, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. This is the exact syntax of object creation. You can see the example. I have created the class name in the previous slide. You can see I have created the class car, right? So I am going to create the object for the same class. So my class name will be car, and the object name here I have given is C1. You can give any object name. Okay, here I have given C1. You can give any name as you wish. C1, that is equal to new. Again, class name. Class name is a car, and this is the constructor. Car, open bracket, close bracket. It's a function. It's a constructor. Okay. What is constructor? All we will discuss in the forthcoming slides. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, I cannot explain what is constructor, and I can go there and explain the constructor and coming back to the class and object creation. It will make so much messy. So just understand it's a constructor. It looks like a function. Okay, when the concept comes, I will tell you what is constructor. Now to create the object, this is the syntax. Class name, object name is equal to new class constructor. Okay, that is car, bracket, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. Okay, car is nothing but the class name I told you. C1 is the object name. This new keyword will allocate the memory for the object. Okay, that is why we are giving the new. And the car, this calls the default constructor, I told you. Okay, this is the syntax for object creation. Okay, so now you understand how the class has been created and how object has been created for each object. Let's see how we can access this data member and member function. How we going to call this access members? Whatever we have declared our data variables, variables, and we have declared the functions. So how we can going to use these things? So we will discuss about accessing data members and calling the method, how it can be done using the proper syntax. So next slide will be describing that. You can see the class declaration and also object creation. Same thing here. You see class name. Class name was being car. Getting into it, you have two data members, that is string, brand and speed has been declared, and display function declared. These all things I explained in the previous slides. This is a class declaration, and object declaration is also I've declared very clearly. Class name, object name is equal to new constructor, that is car C1 is equal to new car of. So how we are going to access these data and the functions using this object? How we use this object in the class? So for that you can see the accessing a data member. So now our object is C1, right? Object that we have created is a C1. That is the name of the object. So C1 dot brand is equal to, I'm declaring the value for the brand. Okay, I'm going to declare the value for the brand, speed and display. I'm going to call the display function. So for that, how we can do it is C1 dot brand is equal to, it is a string, so I've given in the double quote, it's a Toyota, anything you can use. So I've assigned the value for the object, I have declared the value for the brand. Next, C1 dot speed. So speed of that particular car, I have given the speed. Now I'm calling the function C1 dot display. So this how we can access the data member and the functions of the class using the object. Okay, only by this way we can use the data and the functions inside the class. We cannot use the data and the functions directly without the object creation. Without using object, you cannot access the members of the class. Okay, so this is the basic structure. First thing, we have to create the class with a data member and member function. Second thing, for that class we have to create the object. It is not one object, you can create any number of object you want, depends on your choices. Okay, using that object you have to assign the values, or you have to use the functions wherever you need it. Okay, and this is how it works. Now you clearly understand how it works, correct? So now we will have a simple Java program to display the hello world. Here I am not giving you any class. I'm not using the any classes, only main class. Okay, when you go for the structure of Java, you should have one main class at least, and that one main class have a syntax too. So I'm telling you that. Okay, you can see the slide over here. So I'm declaring only the main class. Java program should have one main class by default. That main class declaration is also, we have a syntax for that main class declaration. So I'm declaring the main class here. First thing, I've given the access specifier. Here the access specifier is public. The main class access specifier is always a public one. So I've given you the public class name main. You can have any name for the main class, but if it is a main class, it should have the main function in it. Okay, so I've given the class name as a main. I'm getting into the class. Next, declare this. So the first two line is a default line. Default, you have to declare these two lines, that is public class name, getting into open bracket, public static void main string args. These line are default line. You have to give these lines for a basic Java programming. Okay, so I've declared the function main. That function will be in a public. Access specifier is a public, then it is in a static void. It is not going to return anything, so the return type will be void, and the name of the function is a main, and I am passing one argument string args. Okay, again I'm getting into the function. Here I have displayed hello world. So system, for printing the hello world or any statement, we use the println function, system.out.println. I'm closing the function as well as the class. Okay, so for this I've given you the next slide. I've explained you what all the things they have been doing. This is a main class. This main class is a default one, as I told you. So we'll start from the first line, public. This is public is a access specifier. As I told you before, we have three access specifier: public, private and protected. The main class in the Java should be in a public access specifier. This will makes the class accessible from anywhere in the program. That is why we have given as a public one. Okay, so next will be class and class name. That is usual declaration. So then open, we are getting open bracket. Then third line will be the function is also, class is also in public access specifier. Function is also the public. So third line you will see the access specifier will be public. Same thing, it can be the function can be accessed by anyone else. So I'm putting the access specifier as public. Okay, so you know what is public. Then what is static? The static is a keyword. This will allow the Java virtual machine to call this method without having to create the object. Okay, in Java, as I told you, we will create the class, and for that class we will create the object. Using that object we will call the functions and we will use the data members, right? But this is a main class. It has to be called automatically. It should not be for this main class we are not going to create any object at all. It will, the memory will be allotted automatically, and the function should be called automatically because this is main class. So for automatic innovation we use this keyword static. Okay, this will allow the Java virtual machine to call the method by default. Okay, so that is why we have given the keyword static, and the return type is, it is not going to return anything, so the return type is void. Then the purpose of giving string variable, string data type, and the parameter args. So it is an array that stores the command line argument. If suppose your Java program may give the command line arguments, for that command line arguments you need a variable. So we are declaring this variable that will be as a string always. You cannot change the data type. Its default variable will be, the data type will be the string. So this array string will get the command line arguments, and it allow the program to receive any input values in the command line. For that only you are using this string args. Okay, and whatever input we are giving in Java will be taken as a string. Then we will do the typecasting and we will convert to the float or anything else we want. Okay, that is the basics of Java. So that is why for command line arguments reason we are giving the string data type, string array declaration args. Okay, so next we are getting, already you know what is the purpose of println, system.out.println. I explained already what is system, what is, that is all predefined class and object. We use this predefined class, object, and the default functions to display the values whatever we want. This is the simple Java program. So you can try executing this simple Java program using any online compiler. You'll get it. Okay, so this slide also will explain you the same thing. I already explained it very clearly. The public is that will makes you the class accessible from anywhere in the program. The keyword class is a keyword to create the class. It's a main class, so I've given the name as a main. You can give any name for that class, but if it is a main class, it should have that public static void main string args. All those default functions should be there in that main class. Name of the main class can be given in anything. So name of the main class name will be stored as a file name. Okay, what is the name of the main class? That will be saved as that will be used in the name of the program. Okay, name of the program when you save the program. Static, this will allow the JVM, Java virtual machine, to call the method without having to create the object first. And the void will indicate the method does not going to function, that does not going to return any values here. So the main is a predefined method name recognized by the JVM as a starting point of the program. We are using the main function. You should have the main function in the Java. So we have to give the main function for that. And the string args, as I told, it's an array which helps us to store the command line arguments. The name of the array is args. You can give any name, not alone args. The thing is, it should be the string array. You can give A, B, C, D, anything you want. I have given args. Okay, the name can be changed. No issues in that. The name of the array variable, only that. Okay, it stores the command line argument whenever the program has been passed. So with this, so we can see one another example using the student. We have two classes over here. Here I have two classes. One is the main class and another one is a student class. You can see in the slide over here. I have created the two class. As I told you before, Java should possess one main class. So I have the main class for that. In the main class, I have been creating the object for the student class, and I have used the data members and member function inside the main class. Okay, starting from the class, first thing I'm going to create the class student and one student class and one main class. Okay, so you can see from the first line, I'm going to create the student class. So class name, my class name was a student, so I've given the name of the class as a student. Getting into the class, have two things over here, data member declaration and also function declaration. Here I have given you a two datas, that is name of the student and age. Name should be in the data type string, so I've declared string and the name of the variable will be name. And second variable will be in integer, so int age, and this is the data member of my class student. And second thing, function declaration. Inside the function I've displayed the name of the student and age of the student. So my function declaration will be void display. It is not going to return any data type, anything else, any data. So the return type is void. Name of the function is to display, so given the name as a display. Getting into the function, here I have to display the name of the student and the age. So system dot, for displaying anything else, system dot out dot println. So system dot out dot println, in the double quotation the name will be displayed first, then the value of the name, to display the value of the name plus name I've given, then I've closed and ended up with a semicolon. Similarly, system dot out dot println, in the double quotes age, so the age string will be displayed. The value of the, to display the value of the age plus age, the variable has been tagged over here. So with this I have closed the display function and also the class students. Created the class name student. Inside the student have declared two variables, name of the student and age, and displayed those things with the display function. This is what I have done in this class, in this student class. So I'm going next into the main class. As I told you, Java will have at least one main class. That main class should have public static void main string args. Correct. So next line will be the declaration of the main class. The main class should be, its access specifier should be in public. So public class, the name of the main class is a main. I've given as a main. You can give anything else you want. Okay. Where whatever name you are giving here, it should be the name of your name of your program file. Okay. For example, here I've given you the main, right? So my Java file will be main.java. If I'm giving you m1, m1.java. Okay, I have to save like that. So public class main, this is a main class. I'm getting into the main class. So default by the second line will be the public static void main string args. This I explained why we have giving all these main function. One main class and inside that one main function. So I'm getting into this main function. First thing, I have to create the object for the class student. So I'm creating the object for the class student. So creating the object for the class name, object name is equal to new class name constructor, open bracket, close bracket. So student அப்படிங்கிற கிளாஸுக்கு object create பண்ணியிருக்கேன். So என்னோட கிளாஸோட நேம் வந்து student. So student object name will be S1, that is equal to new constructor for that class student, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. So by this way I have created the object S1. So using this object I am going to access the variable declared inside the class student, that is name, age, and also call the function using this object S1. Okay, so the object S1 dot name is equal to, now I am declaring the values for the variables. Okay, so S1 dot name is equal to double quote, I have given double quote inside the double quote Ravi, this will be the string, so I have given in the double quote. S1 dot age is equal to 20. Then I am calling the display function S1 dot display of. So this will give me the output. Name is equal, name Ravi, age 20. Okay, this is the simple Java program using class and object. You can create not only one object for the class student. You can create any number of objects, depends on number of the students. You can create n number of objects for the class student. Okay, I will explain you creating same with the same program. I can create more number of object also. I can explain you that also. Just a minute. Okay. Let me explain you in the previous slide. I have been explaining you the single thing. Okay, you have one main class and one class named student. In this, I'm going to explain the one main class and you have a one main class, one student class. But for that student class, you are going to have multiple object creation and how I'm going to add the data. The class student will be same. I'm not going to touch anything else. You will find here class name student, and you have two datas, name of the student and the age variable, and displaying those datas using the display function. Okay, I'm not changing anything else here. Okay, what I'm going to do is in the main class I'm going to create three objects for the same class and give the going to declare the different values for different objects. So you can see in the main class here the changes in the main class over here. So public class main, this is a main class, and so that you will have the declaration public static void main string args. Getting into it, first step I am creating the object. First object, here I have created the three object 1 s1, object 2 s2, object 3 s3. Okay, first object you can see student, class name student, object name s1 is equal to new student constructor, class constructor. Okay, this is the first object declaration. So with this first object declaration, I'm going to assign the value s1 dot name is equal to Ravi, s1 dot age is equal to 20. I've created the one object s1 here and assigned the values for that using that object. Second thing what I have done is student s2. S2 is the second object I've created for the same class student. Class name student s2 is equal to new student of s2. Here for this object I'm again giving the values. Okay, for the first object the values has been declared here, and this for the second object the values is going to declared value I'm going to declare. S2 dot name is equal to Priya, S2 dot age is equal to 21. Okay, next step I'm going to create the third object student s3 is equal to new student of s3 dot name is equal to Arun, s3 dot age is equal to 19. So I've created three objects s1, s2, s3 and assigned values for all three objects. Now I'm going to display the value, display the object's value. So s1 dot display, s2 dot display, s3 dot display. With this I'm closing this function. So what output I will get from this is very clear. I will get the output like this. You can see name Ravi, age 20, name Priya, age 21, name Arun, age 19. Okay, this is how the output will be. Okay, from this you will understand, from this session you will understand what is class, what is object, how we can create the class and how we can create the object for each class, and how the structure of the program, Java program will be, what is the main thing we have to include, all those things. In the next class we will discuss other things. Till then, bye bye, see you.